This is an ad hoc tough video, tell a friend video about the mating and relationship game. There is so much you hear about it. You hear that you should kind of look at the same level, see both men and women at the same level. Then you should, then sometimes you hear that if somebody doesn't give you enough love, so there's hatred, then give more love. And then there are the pickup artists who say, PUA, pickup artists that say you as a man, you have to be dominant, and you tell the woman, look, I'm independent and you are just like a supplement, and that kind of it makes then the woman fall in love with this crazy man because he's so dominant. He has status, that is status. Then we have Hirschhausen, a German let's say a doctor, who did a design once, which I liked a lot. So these are the men, and and these are women, you know. And the thing is now that these are the different levels. So you have top woman, you have mid woman, you have low women, yeah, and very low women, and men the same, you know. And when you then look at that, so the distribution is that in every of these fields you have the same amount of men and women, yeah, they are equally distributed. But the woman, and it's the woman that chooses, I think most know that. The man says, what is my status? And the woman chooses. So the woman usually chooses upwards, which leaves the very low quality men, they don't find a mate, you know, they can't mate. And then the top women, they also don't find a mate. So suggestion, they meet. No, I think not. That was a joke. So what we have is the top women will not find an equivalent partner, so there are many of these things. And then you look at your own life, you look at the life and relationships of others, and you see, oh, there is something, you know, like these at the same level things, they usually kind of don't work. Usually it's then that the man is then like a little wimp, or they split up. You know, if he then says, no, now I don't want anymore, and then they split up. So this all doesn't really work. And now the pickup artists, what they say is increase your status, and then women will love you. And then there is the men go their own way, Mikto, men that say, I don't care about women at all, and so on. And now I'd like to kind of brainstorm a little bit how the different brains, my intellect, my limbic system, and my reptile brain decides on mating. And now I think we have to kind of separate between mating the mating game, and then pleasure, sex, and then also feeling good, you know, community. So there are these three levels. So the mating is kind of what this is ad hoc. You know, this happens in the discotheque, and here it is. Men see a woman, but men would see 10 women. Would they say, oh yeah, that would be good, that would be good. But kind of they indicate, you know, that one could be okay. And then obviously it's the female that then says, okay, I mate. You know, here one night stand and so on. Yeah, I want this guy. Okay. Sexual pleasure immediate because she loves the high status guy, the Latin lover, the one, and so on. So this is an ad hoc thing, which in many cases she regrets. Because, now what I wanted to say is the reptile brain here tells her, sleep with that man. Because he's the best, and then you have kids that are the best, you know, then you have small kids that are strong. And then what happens is the next day, kind of the feeling, or the intellect kicks in, you know, the next day, and maybe the feeling says, I don't know. Is he that nice? I don't know. But here question mark. But the intellect might say, oops, is that really the one? And now it depends, you know, next day or next month or next year, next month kind of. So that means reptile brain makes sure she has a nice kid in her womb. And then it is, how can I kind of make sure that this little thing in my womb, I think it's the right term, will survive. And then she may look, and now we come to this for just a normal man. So a normal man. And now that is what she now has to look out for. And somebody that takes care of her. And now law, in the Western countries at least, give the lady a perfect, you know, power, lots of power. So power to actually, once they have him, to make sure he looks after the kid, even if maybe her romantic relationship, which the man would like to have, you know, he would like to sleep with her and stay with her and have it cuddly, but she kind of did only choose here somebody that pays the bills. You know, this is kind of all very black and whitish thought, and I'd like to kind of introduce a little bit like how it really works out, because what usually happens is that because of, you know, society and so on, she will not be able to jump into the bed immediately with this Latin lover on this day. So maybe she's still aroused and she will have maybe sex with the second best, the third best or so, or with just somebody, you know, maybe her boyfriend. And, you know, so that means in most cases, she will then kind of not go for this, what she would do in nature without culture. And so we have here culture that actually kind of tries to smoothen this maybe this system. And so what I'd like to kind of, if I do a second version of this video, kind of get my ideas better. What is involved when? How long does it take? How much is culture kind of kicking in, that in the end we have just normal, you know, normal people. We don't have, you know, if you have a distribution, you would have kind of the high status, you know, this is like 100%. So you would have like maybe 1 to 5% high status, very high status male, and then it kind of goes down. But the women, you know, somehow they need to get pregnant, so they would even choose somebody here. Maybe he's temporarily high status, maybe he faked high status or something like that. So I'd like to kind of shine some more light on how that mechanism works, because that's actually very, very interesting. I don't know whether it improves kind of our lives of men and women if they know this, or if we just say, well, go for it, and then you discover later what happens. Okay, that was kind of a first go at this mating and relationship game. Comments are most welcome. So if you kind of see in the midst of this video, like at the position 8:34 seconds, there is this problem which I think is not right, or somewhere you would like to add more things, then do so. Thank you very much for the feedback, and thank you for your time. Bye-bye.